So, first question, get it kind of kicked off. So, what do you think Martin Luther King Jr. would think if he saw society today? And all these topics are kind of like black issue, history related, not history necessarily, but current events.
Go ahead. Yeah. Please.
If Martin Luther King was alive today, I think he would appreciate the progress that has happened in government, even in social issues. I think the things he would be disappointed in, honestly, is the way we are portrayed in media as buffoons and ignorant people.
Who's we?
The people who have black pigment, basically, or brown pigment. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he would, he would wonder, why do you depict them in such a way? Why do you give them the image of the one who lives down in the dumps? Why cannot they be the educated one out of everyone else? They always have to be that one picked out person. And if they are educated, then they are looked at as an anomaly, like, oh, whoa, a black man who can speak proper.
That's Martin Luther King's
right.
kid.
Exactly. So that's kind of like just a singe of what I think he would, think today. You have any comments? Let me know.
He's going to get fired up tonight. I think Martin Luther King Jr. would be heartbroken about a lot of things in our society, not just how we treat blacks, but how we just treat each other in general. I mean, like Facebook, don't even get me started. Like, we're just really cruel to people, and I feel like a lot of what Martin Luther did was based off of his own judgment and like the prejudice that he was given, but I feel like it goes so much farther than that, because he talked a lot about how Christ treated people, and I feel like if other groups had been as publicly mistreated as blacks were being mistreated in his time, he would have been standing up for them as well. So I think he would definitely be proud of some of our progress, but there's been a lot of mistakes that we're still making this day. So.
Agreed.
Somebody has to disagree now. Go ahead.
So my thinking face, right?
Yeah.
Well, since there's more of a negative aspect towards it, I want to be on the merciful side and say we have progressed a lot here in the future, because as we see, there is black and white sitting next to each other, and Hispanics, and we are friends. And back then we weren't able to do that, so I still think there is a lot of progress that we have made, but yes, there is a lot more that we still need to improve.
Torrance, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with what the three of them said, in that, he would say that we've done good, but there's still room for much improvement. I also think that one aspect that he would look on and have an opinion about if he was here would be that, the discrimination still goes on, but it goes on from every perspective, toward every perspective, in that, I think whites discriminate against blacks as much as blacks discriminate against whites, and as much as, Latinos discriminate against Asians. I just think that, we have a lot of I think that we have a lot of misconceptions about other people, and while sometimes it's fun to joke about the way people look, as long as you're sensitive to their feelings. I think that in society in general, we just tend to stereotype everybody when everybody's different, and that's one of my flaws politically is I tend to speak in absolutes when the fact is that there are no absolutes. And so ultimately, I just think that if Martin Luther was here, he'd be like, okay, this is better, but y'all are still making fun of each other, and he would be angry at all races because all races are doing it.
I think that he would be sad. I don't agree with you guys, just saying. Because what he fought for when he was fighting for whatever, what he fought for was that he was trying to break down the race barrier. But in our days, even though it's only breaking down to kind of a limit, you can say that black people are actually doing what the white people were doing back then. They are actually being more racist to the white people because they feel like they owe it to the white people to get back at them of what they felt back then. So I feel like he would feel like he fought for nothing because of the way the people he fought for are behaving nowadays. So I feel that he will be sad.
I think he would be sad and think that he fought for nothing.
Yeah, he fought for nothing.
So like, it's not a big deal that, the whole integration thing, like blacks going to school, getting college degrees, that's nothing.
That's nothing. Because he fought, what he fought for mainly was the racial barrier. That's what he fought for. I mean, those are pluses for him, but I felt like what he really fought for was to break down the barrier between white people and black people. And
Can I say that, like, I think, what you're trying to say is that, like, if he looked at stuff today, he would see that we've done a lot of stuff. We've given blacks a lot more rights than they had, but it's almost like there's still a difference. There's a division. It's like we've defined blacks and whites, and I think what he's saying is Martin Luther wanted the definition to be the same for blacks and whites and all people of different colors.
And to add on to that, I would like to say that I think instead of, he would see that instead of actually solving the problem, we just covered it up. Instead of, getting down to the core issue and realizing why do we have this inherent, possibly hate for people who do not look like us? Why do we have that? We cover it up like, okay, we're going to give them a right. What do you mean you're going to give me a right? Like, by you giving someone something, that implies that you have something they do not have. Therefore, you are implying that you are better than them. And by
Whoa. But Jesus gave us salvation. So like,
He is
whoa.
better than us, though. He's like,
But you're not like, the nerve for you to give me salvation. How
We-
dare
we're
how
not-
dare you give me salvation?
we're
Like, you
not
don't say
comparing
that.
Jesus and Martin Luther King. We're talking about Martin Luther King right now, so.
Oh, so Jesus has nothing to do with Martin Luther
he
King.
does. Like, he has a
Nothing?
lot- Okay.
Let me go ahead and say while there's a pause that the Bible teaches us that we're in doubt. The Bible teaches us this, and it's phrased in our Declaration of Independence that we're given in certain inalienable rights, and one of those is that all men are created equal. So
Yeah, so I don't think a man can give
Exactly.
without being better than that one person.
Without
Well, in their
seeing in his
mentality to be better than that person.
But
But the Jesus that the Christians, the Jesus that are inside that person, they can give like, hey, this is what I could give this to you, but it's not from me, it's from him. So Jesus kind of, he's not talking about Jesus, he's talking about the people. We're talking
Right.
about people.
you're not giving it to them; you're giving it back to them because you took it from them.
Yeah, that makes
Kinda.
sense. Because a long time ago, it was like a slave was considered 3/5 of a person.
Yeah.
Like there was 60% that they were a person. So it was like all men are created equal, except like the ones that aren't really considered a real person. I'm like, that didn't even make sense. Like my ancestors are just crazy, but whatever. So, but like with Martin Luther King Jr., like you can't change a complete world's view. Like, I mean, unless you're Hitler, maybe you can. But, I mean, you can't. You can influence your ideas and really affect a lot of people, but it's not going to work for everyone. Like, there's going to be blacks that abuse the things that they've been given now, and there's going to be whites that are still ignorant, and there's going to be whites that overload on the black praise they give and blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, none of it's going to be perfect. So, I mean, there is progress. So that's reassuring.